The days keep rolling on and we get one step closer and closer to the launch of Battlefield 6. Recently, a few more leaks have come out from updated versions of Battlefield Labs that point towards some cool things, some things that some players may not enjoy, and even more. So today we're taking a look at what you should know out of these leaks. Drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Battlefield 6 and even more FPS content. We've got a really busy fall upcoming, covering multiple game launches, so I'd love to have you in the community if you'd like to join. But for now, let's get into it. So today we're taking a look at a few leaks about cosmetics. These, of course, again, coming from a new build of labs that went out, obviously. We talked about how that yesterday, it seems like they're going to be starting testing Battle Royale this weekend in this next wave of Battlefield Labs, but out of these leaks recently came a 6-minute video of cosmetics dropping over on Bilibili. Again, the sort of Chinese YouTube equivalent where leaks like those live on. To my knowledge, I don't think that Battlefield and EA can really do much about those hosted over there. From what I remember being told is that China doesn't really acknowledge IP laws, so they don't have to comply with things like DMCA takedown requests. Now, unfortunately, because YouTube is in compliance with those things, I unfortunately cannot showcase the footage we're discussing here on screen in any capacity, like always. However, if applicable, the links will still be posted in the description below where you can find that footage that we're referencing. First up, let's talk about some of the stuff we learned. We saw faction kits here with this right up front, right out of the gate from this video, where there are nations associated with each of these skins as the sort of set for each of your skins. Your Assault, Engineer, Medic, and Recon all have identifiers next to them that are selectable that you can adjust them on the fly. NATO, you end up having sub-factions of the Coyote Squad, United Albion, and Desert Locusts, while Pax Armada includes the Espada, Fireteam Yaga, and the Kahina unit. Now, you don't have to have the same skin across all 4 of your classes if you don't want to. You can, but if you want a different skin for Assault versus Engineer, you can do that, and that's where this subdivision will come into play with this. Though it does appear that NATO and Pax Armada, the larger forces at hand, appear to have that uniform vibe to them, in which you will still have those like differentiations between Pax and NATO in those opposing team forces. Like, you're not going to have too many things that will look identical to each other that you might get confused on if that's a teammate or an enemy. What's also interesting is the sub-factions kind of act as their own soldiers by comparison to other games, like an operator skin or something like that is now the sub-faction skin. So the Tombstone skin for pre-ordering the game appeared to be associated only with Coyote Squad. Strangely, it also kind of seems like, unless I missed it scrubbing the footage, that the Phantom Squad cosmetics for the Phantom Edition also end up appearing to be Coyote Squad, but all 4 of those pertaining to Assault, Engineer, Medic, or Recon, having a skin in that sub-faction versus having them available for all of the sub-factions or both NATO and Pax. It also appeared that you have options for male and female character selections if that's something that is of interest to you, but also, unless missed, it doesn't appear that we'd have additional cosmetics and customization beyond that. There is that rumor that we'd see customization specific to elements like mixing and matching helmets, gloves, boots, and all that kind of stuff, while being able to customize things like facial components. But while still possible, in this footage it wasn't showcased, so we don't know for sure based off the most recent update. There was, however, customizable patches that you could place on your operators, which also came from that prior leak and discussion. So that could suggest that if that one part is true, shouldn't the rest of that also be? We'll have to wait and see on that one. There was one skin that also stood out to everyone in this. I'd be remiss in not mentioning that, where this one is one of the situations of like, yeah, one of these is not like the other, where we don't exactly know how you can unlock it, where it comes from, but it appears to be a black skin with a lime green accent in multiple different areas across the helmet, chest plate, and all that. So some are saying it's similar to like the monster skins you'd see in COD, and while I can't show you those images on screen, it's probably one of those things you can imagine what it looks like in Battlefield at that point. So this has presented quite a bit of discussion on both sides of the spectrum. Some saying it's too far out there, it breaks the immersion, some thinking it's totally fine, to which I personally have no stake in the matter on this one. I'm literally just dead even on this. While it's not the muted, realistic camouflages we've seen thus far, I also don't think that it's nearly as crazy as some other things we've seen out there in competitors or even in other Battlefield titles. I think that if this is the furthest it goes, it's totally fine with me, but I also understand the fixation on the realistic approach to wanting camos to be one specific grounded way. For me personally though, seeing that it's the only skin at the moment like this, I'm not going to take all of my interest in the game and throw it out the window because of one skin. If it gets progressively worse, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, personally speaking, but I'd love to know your input on that here. Let's have a little discussion. Now, one small detail that we saw passing through this, and you could tell it was an updated version of the game, was the visual effect of the kind of lens flare transition between soldier previews when checking out each of the skins. That wasn't there in the last builds of Labs, and was something that I just think adds a nice little touch. And finally, notably absent out of these skins and cosmetics was the 2042 Battlefield 6 rewards. Those likely won't make the game until launch since they're ongoing rewards and not native skins to the base of the game. The others are part of that base offering in some capacity, like associated with the project, but these reward skins are usually not granted until launch and the update there that happens with it. Interestingly though, there's a lot of customization. Even without the ability to customize and either mix, match, adjust player core visuals, you name it, if we have skins for each subdivision within NATO and PAX, that opens the door for a million different cosmetics, which is either good or bad, I guess, depending on who you ask and the rollout of them, how they're presented. Are they all free that you can unlock via challenges? Are they in a battle pass? Are they outright in a shop? It's probably a combination of all of that kind of stuff. But when we see potentially both of these pre-order skins being only for one of those 6 sub-factions, I imagine we'll end up seeing quite a few more sub-faction additions and skins on a regular basis to fill out those options. So, love to see how that all shapes up. Beyond that, we also did see, additionally, Mastery Camo leaks. Another surprising leak that came out of this was that, where we covered a few days ago camos on the channel, and as a big camo guy for both challenges or collecting them in-game, I'm naturally there. I'm always intrigued with that kind of stuff. But we ended up seeing a sort of what looked first and foremost like a desert-style camo, but the more I looked at a couple of them, it seemed like they had a copper and bronze-ish finish to them. This seemed like a real simple, not flashy at all Mastery Camo, if this is a Mastery Camo, which is a good thing, I'm sure, for some players, but also kind of strange that we see the flashier elite camos that are just like your digital hexagonal type camos and stuff like that that has more pop to it. Nothing that's actually at all crazy, but like they're literally just general camos, but it's somewhat strange that the dubbed Mastery camos appear to almost be flat by nature and by comparison. Not saying that's neither good nor bad, but if it's the case that this is a Mastery camo, it's just kind of interesting to play it that safe. It also should be noted that there are additional skins from other reward sets that are in this leaked footage that are linked towards the other pre-orders, Twitch drops, and other bonus items, that not every single one of these camos that is showcased is a Mastery camo. So not entirely sure why they're included in that footage, where the blurred line is from Mastery camo to then showcasing other stuff. It's possible these could all just be straight up standard camos, maybe not even Mastery camos, but it appears they are. Right now, it kind of feels like leaks are trying to navigate a bit of the Wild West feeling. A lot of information out there from Labs. We basically see the full game at this point, and a lot of data, but not entirely a ton of clarity on the specifics of those things. Like, specific details could be misinterpreted, could change up somehow from now until launch. I mean, just recently, that Eastwood loading screen, one of the maps that's apparently coming with Season 1, that was presented initially as a piece of the Battle Royale map, which we now see is not. So it's possible this isn't the end of the story, sure, but right now it's the look at what we have. But either way, I'm curious and eager to learn more. As a big camo guy, as seeing things like tanks and jet skins and camos as well, I'm curious to see how much depth this upcoming system for camos actually has and what challenges are associated with it. I'm really big into the camo grind stuff here with this, so if it's tedious and long, that's fine with me. It's going to take quite a bit of time and might not be for everybody else, but for me personally, I'll be happy to grind that out. But anyways, that's where we're at. I wanted to fill you guys in with a little bit of some information here about what is upcoming and some of the details we found from a recent Labs build for Battlefield 6 upcoming. Again, less than a month away now at this point. Kind of crazy to think about because only a couple of months ago we had no idea when the game was even going to launch, but we are getting closer and closer, so we wanted to fill you guys in. Let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all things Battlefield 6 and even more FPS content I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine's been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.